All right, well, we're back for the discussion of Mad Max Fury Road, and if you saw our review, we recommended it. We thought it was great. So, talking about spoilers and things, where to start? Everything's crazy in this movie. All the characters are, for as little as they talk, for as little, like, you understand what every character's motivation is in this movie. You know what they're trying to do. They all have something that makes them unique. Even characters that are like the two guys that are just sort of the psychos that are painted up all white and everything, like they have individual personalities and...
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was...
Poor boy.
There's even characters that you want to hate and you're... Okay, you can throw them away and be like, I'm done, on to the next one. This one's going to be the main character, but then you learn to love them and you learn to, like, appreciate them and want them to stick around.
Yeah.
I was definitely afraid they were going to get rid of Warboy right at the front there.
Yeah.
Like, when he gets his first accident, I'm like, he's still here! Yes! Finally!
Yeah, and his sacrifice means something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a huge deal, and his like, flirtation with Drew Barrymore with the red hair, whoever she was, like that whole like thing, like that, all those things work. Like all those little bits and pieces work, and yeah. And I know there's been some people that have complained that like the movie's about Charlize Theron's character and not about Mad Max. And it's like, no, I don't feel like that at all. Like. She's leading the action of the movie, but he's like helping them out, and it's his like if he doesn't help them out, if he doesn't at that one critical point tell them to turn back and basically take the Citadel, like
which sounds
they just disappear.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, Max's story has been told. Now he's just wandering into other people's stories. And that's kind of what this movie was. It was Charlize Theron's story, but Mad Max was the audience's
So
role
is he Renegade now?
Essentially.
We just call him Reno.
It was good.
The cool thing about it, one of the interesting things I thought, was they introduced all these characters and they all had weird quirks.
Mm-hmm.
The main bad guy, he's got all this gear on, and they never go into an explanation of why or what made him this way, and that's absolutely awesome. You're just forced to accept it.
I don't think they've ever done that for any Mad Max movie for other guys. They're just kind of, Master Blaster got explained, kind of, but...
They sort of, like, they hint at the fact that he's sort of a Darth Vader type character, that he can't... Like, the beginning, they're dressing him, and he can't really breathe without the mask, and...
Right, it almost seems like it's a facade that he's actually still a big warlord.
Exactly, like they're putting that chest, like, that see-through chest piece on him that has the medals and stuff.
Can we talk about the man who with the stumps?
The diabetes foot?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. He has like a little gold thing over his nose.
Yep.
Like, what is that?
He got his nose torn off.
Okay.
It's like it's a metal nose.
Okay, so this is my first Mad Max movie.
Well, no, I mean, that's like how they used to do it, like, in the old days. Like, if you lost your nose or something like that, you get, like, an iron one that they'd put on there.
And his stumps of his men who had to, like, lift him up into his car.
Yeah, he had, like, massive gout or something, like...
elephantitis syndrome to diabetes.
Yeah, serious diabetes.
He loses his feet from
He
the
did
sugars.
not go to Liberty Medical at all.
From the knees down, he is all Skittles. That's all that there is.
He needed to eat smoke meal.
Yeah, I mean, all of those bad guys had something too. They all had a little bit of a personality to them, and it was great the way that, like, instead of ending the movie with them, fighting the big bad, guy, they basically tear his face off, and the final, real action is the guy sacrificing the war machine to basically cut everybody off so that they can escape and get out, and then the people just basically decide, well, he killed our leader, like, they win.
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody's mad though. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody was upset. They're just like, oh, okay, well he's there. All right, lower him down.
yeah.
Let's bring him back up.
Well, he controlled the water, and they explain that like his controlling the water is the reason that he had control over them. But if he's dead, then
Yeah.
whoever has control of the water, and they showed the women that were like hooked up to the machines at the beginning, like they were running the water now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I just about lost it when I realized that what they were spraying in their face was chrome spray paint.
That was the best.
Because I was like, well, what are they? Is that like an electrical shock? What's going on? It's like, no, they're chroming their teeth.
yeah, they're chroming themselves up to be shiny in Valhalla.
Right.
I was so excited.
And so I'm like, they're all huffing spray paint the
Yeah.
entire time, which doesn't, might attribute some of the bizarre behaviors.
That'd be something too for the Blu-ray. Would be to watch it with subtitles and try and figure out some of what they were saying, especially early on.
Because it was mumbled.
Well,
kind
like
of.
they kept yelling Valhalla at the beginning, and that's like I didn't get that until someone explained it, like that's what they were talking about. And,
Yeah.
like, this is my ticket to Valhalla. Spray, chrome me up.
They wanted witnesses.
That was absolutely amazing. Like,
Yeah, I was sure I was kind of confused if I'm gonna see this as a completely different movie, and the entire time I'm looking at Tom Hardy and I'm like, that's Mad Max.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
He's doing Mad Max as a character.
it didn't feel out of place at all.
No.
Like, I mean, Mel Gibson, he's the road warrior, but Tom Hardy fit those shoes nicely.
Right.
Yeah, and it was smart that they like muzzle him for the first act, because like all you have is the way that he acts. Like you don't have. He's not giving you a bunch of dialogue, and you're not sitting there staring at Tom Hardy's face trying to, like, you're not identifying that's not Mel Gibson. You're just like, that's a guy, and that's Mad Max.
Right.
Yeah.
Fresh from the start too. I mean, he's already like just covered in hair to start with. They have to shave him up. So you're just like, okay, so he clearly looks different. Clearly looks. No, I don't know if the word aged is right, because the last Mad Max movie was already kind of gray.
Yeah.
But
if this were a modern, like if this were not directed and made by George Miller,
It would have been Michael Bay.
if this were a Michael Bay movie or something like that, Olivier Megaton, the guy that did the Taken 2 and 3, if it had been one of those, like, the whole movie would have been, like, first of all, Mad Max never would have been captured or down or anything like that. Like, he always would have won every encounter that he was in.
which is absurd, because he's been captured like so many times.
Right. And if he was captured, there'd be like gratuitous torture scenes and that sort of stuff. And for like all of the action that goes on in this movie, and for all like the cars and things that happen and the violence that happens, it's not a very bloody movie. It really isn't. Like,
True.
it could be much more gratuitous than it is, which is another thing that I think would happen if it were a modern made R-rated movie, is like when the girl went under the truck, the pregnant woman, the first one that went,
Yeah.
like, that would have been like,
It cuts away, doesn't it?
yeah,
Kind of.
in a lot of cases it does. Like, somebody will get crushed, and you'll see them go like out of frame as the thing comes down and crushes them. And part of that is like, because it's so practically done, because it's so real,
Right.
the way they've performed all of this, that like they're not gonna crush a watermelon full of blood to get that effect. They're just gonna not bother with it.
But your energy needs to stay high for the next scene, because it's all action.
Right.
It's all stunts. It's all like in your face, now. See, I don't think you don't necessarily need the blood, the gore to know
No,
what's
not at
happened.
all.
And I think that's what's really nice.
Yeah,
about this movie.
I was impressed by it. I just thought, like, every situation where they had the chance to really go for something graphic like that, they didn't. They ripped that guy's face apart. and
It
you
wasn't
barely
really.
see it. You know, you
But-
barely see
right.
it when it happens, and you barely see it when they bring him into town, and that's it.
You know what was interesting about that is even though you don't really see that happen, you know it happened, you hear it happen, and I cringed just as bad as if they made us watch it.
Yeah.
Like, it was very effective, everything they did.
So, speaking of the blood, how much blood is in a human body? Because Max is a blood donor in the beginning, and he's a blood donor at the end, and I'm sure only about 2 days pass in the entire movie. So,
know that, but you don't feel that. You don't feel it at all.
yeah, you know, I was gonna let that go to movie magic, but I was just had to make that comment because it was kind of a weird one. I'm like, I'm just
He's drinking lots of OJ and
right.
breast milk and whatever
Just,
else
just
he get his hands
all the
on.
breast milk that's
Mother's
on the
milk.
mother's milk that's
Yeah.
on the war tanker.
It's awesome. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what else as far as spoiler stuff to talk about.
You need a sound system just like that guy had.
Oh yeah,
No
That was-
radio to go to war.
That was
Bring
the
your own
greatest
bands.
thing ever.
got like a bungee cord so he can like fly around with it,
Yeah.
be tethered to a big.
Well,
sound
and they
system.
sort of show that he's like,
Boy.
yeah, he's got like no face left basically.
But I like
He's
the
just
drummers.
like the guitar player.
Oh, I thought he was wearing a mask because
And they
Well,
tear it
they-
off,
they
and there's
tear
like
it
nothing
off.
left of his face
And he
underneath.
has, like, no eyes.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it was...
I didn't say it very
It was
clearly, I guess.
intense, but the one thing and out of all the insanity, I have to question this. Gasoline is so rare here, but they use it so frivolously. Like, everything is just like blowing flames, even the guitar.
Yep.
I was
Yeah,
just,
I don't know like what the how they explain that, because I know they talked at one point about like nitrous and some other things, so there might be some other fuel and some other explosives and stuff that they're using other than gasoline. But
I just imagine that there's so like that the world of people who actually have vehicles now are all just marauders who are just
yeah,
who just have these war machine vehicles, but there's not any more vehicles, so they just have loads of gasoline. They spin it like it's nothing at that point.
yeah, I think that like as crazy as the gas usage is in the movie, like if you really wanted to nitpick the realism and things like that, the lack of water is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Like, people can't survive like that without water.
even
Right.
he said it at the beginning. He was like, "Don't get addicted to the water." Like,
Don't get addicted. Like,
Yeah, he's like, "Don't get addicted to the water because it'll make you crazy when it's gone." I was like, "What?"
yeah.
Nobody drank water. They drank mother's milk.
Well, off the truck.
They're all recycling their water.
Yeah.
It's Waterworld style.
Yep, probably.
Awesome. Well, that's Mad Max Fury Road. Hope you liked the way we do these. If you do, please like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe, and check out all of our video and written reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.